Is this the best Sony lens ever? It could be an exaggeration, but I think it's actually a strong contender. And the lens I'm talking about is the Sony G-Master 24-70 f2.8 Mark II. I bought this lens a little over a year and a half ago, and I took it on a trip to Palm Springs, California to give you this real life review. Now, yes, I know that I filmed this video in early 2024 and it's now early 2025. Life has been busy. I have not gotten around to sharing it, but a lot of the information still applies in today's kind of camera gear market. So, take that as you will and just enjoy this review of the real life scenario with the 24-70.
What's up? We're here in California. I'm on the side of like a dried riverbed, but obviously there's still water running behind me. Yeah, we're in California, kind of a new spot, but I wanted to tell you about the best lens on the planet, which could be a bit of an exaggeration, but it's a new lens I picked up and wanted to tell you about, give you a little bit of my thoughts, review. Hoping to film this entire video on this one lens. If I switch lenses, I'll let you know on screen. But yeah, this has got to be one of the most versatile lenses out there, so I'm looking forward to kind of showing you how it works, and let's carry on with our trip. So I'm out here with my beautiful girlfriend Lauren.
Yeah, so remember how I said this video was filmed in 2024? Well, things have changed since then, and Lauren is no longer my girlfriend. She's actually my fiance. So yeah, that happened.
It's kind of a fun little trip to start the year, coming off the tail end of a pretty busy 2023. Started up 2024 a little busy, but taking it back again, relaxing, doing some hiking out here. We're hoping that this is just a fun trip filled with some good vibes, good views, and
relaxation.
Yeah, hopefully a little bit of mental relaxation before we get back into the new year. This also might be a bit more of an intimate view than you guys are used to when I vlog. If I haven't said it already, this lens is the Sony G-Master 24-70 f2.8 Mark II. So the second one they made, which is nice because it's a little bit smaller, and I'll get into all the pros and cons later. Trying to vlog with it is a little different than my usual 16-35. The 16-35 is usually a bit wider. Yeah, you can still definitely vlog with this lens as I'm doing right now, but you gotta kind of hold it out a little bit far so your arm gets tired. So we made it to the top of this summit, kind of. I mean, we're not at the highest point in this canyon, but part of what I was reminded of why I like this lens so much is that it's incredibly versatile. I didn't take this thing off the entire time and was able to get a wide range of shots, wide range of focal lengths. I mean, this one lens kind of holds all of the focal lengths of my favorite lenses in my camera bag. You can go as wide as 24 mil. You can zoom in a little bit to 35 for kind of like a portrait look. Then you can go to 50 where you start getting a little bit more compressed. And then if you really want some compression, you can go to 70. All the other lenses in my camera bag kind of cover those focal lengths anyway. So it's nice to kind of have them all in one lens. That's obviously the major appeal of something like a 24-70. The value of kind of having all of those options in one lens, one package where you can just run and gun it is really significant. We're gonna head back down in a little bit and get something to eat.
I need food.
Me too.
All right, we're here at the Salton Sea in California. What a cool spot. I'm really liking some of the shots I was able to get out here, and it's just like so desolate and quiet, and it's really beautiful spot, truly unique. But I switched to my 16-35 so I could talk a little bit more about this lens right here. Gonna run through some of the pros, and later we'll go over some of the cons to see if you think this lens might actually be a good fit for you. So first of all, I mentioned earlier many times that this is an extremely versatile lens, super flexible. If you have only one lens that you can get for your camera, it would be this one, because it just covers so much. You have so many options to shoot both photo and video when you throw this lens on your camera. You have so many different focal lengths. The compositions you can get are essentially endless. So if I'm using this at events and I don't really want to go back into my camera bag to switch lenses, this is the one that I am going to be putting on. Pro number 2 is that you have a lot of different kind of custom buttons and features on the lens itself. You have 2 different, I guess, push buttons that you can assign to different things. I have been lazy and haven't assigned them to anything on my camera, but hey, if you want even more customization options, you can do that. Sony is just really good with that anyway. So they allow you to assign these to whatever feature you want. You also have the autofocus, manual focus switch, which I use all the time. You can choose to have smooth or tight on the zoom. Goes a little bit slower on tight, so I guess if that's kind of like the shot you want, or if this is just what you prefer, then you can do that. They also, on Sony's newer lenses, they also have kind of this like manual aperture thing and the ability to lock it in place, which is pretty cool. You have that nice click, which you can turn off too. You can turn off the click on the lens. Isn't that crazy? Now you have kind of like a smooth thing there. Anywho, I don't use it, but it's nice. It's nice that it's there. Sony's always really good at giving you options, and they carried that over to their lens as well as their camera. It's also a very sharp lens. I can't complain at all about any of the shots that I've gotten so far. They've all been tack sharp. Haven't noticed any kind of like haziness, which, you know, with zoom lenses, sometimes it's hard to be as sharp as a prime lens, but you know, this one, it's gotten the job done fairly well. And I really like the sharpness as it comes out of the lens. 4 is autofocus. Since this is a native Sony G Master lens, the autofocus with my Sony camera is fantastic. Another 24-70 that I've used in the past is the Sigma 24-70, and I've personally noticed some autofocusing issues that could just be me and my particular one that I was using. But then when I used this one for the first time, the autofocus was just flawless, as you would expect from Sony. And finally, this lens is also pretty lightweight and small for a zoom lens. It's slightly smaller than my 16-35. I don't know the exact weight of this lens. It's similar to my 16-35, which is actually pretty light for a zoom lens anyway. And I'm pretty sure it's also lighter than Sigma's option for the 24-70. Again, don't quote me on that. I'll put it on screen, both weights. But to me, this one feels lighter. And this front element, you know, it extends a little bit, but it doesn't extend too far compared to other 24-70s. So, you know, it's not too difficult to balance on a gimbal if you just throw it in the middle right there. The kind of lightweight and small nature of this lens kind of adds to its versatility and flexibility and allows you to kind of run and gun however you want. Now, there wouldn't be pros to this lens without cons. Con number 1 is that this lens is stupid expensive. It is $2,300 for this piece of glass, which, you know, lenses get up there, especially when you start talking cinema lenses, but for kind of like a prosumer thing, you know, $2,300 it's really getting up there. So a lot of people are going to be turned off by the price point. Fortunately, I believe Sony offers a f4 option to this lens. So if you're okay with not having f2.8, you can spend a little bit less money and go with the f4 option, or you can go with Sigma's option that I was talking about earlier, which is, I believe, half the price of this lens. So if you're looking to save some money, this might not be the one that you want to pick up. Con number 2 is that you don't have image stabilization on this lens. I don't find that big of a deal because I'm pairing it with the A7S III, which has incredible in-body stabilization. So it's not a huge drawback for me, but for some people, they might want, you know, the extra layer of stabilization from a lens. Usually you don't get that in a zoom lens anyway. Yeah, if you were looking for image stabilization, it's not here, sorry. And probably the biggest con with this lens it doesn't really actually have to do with the lens at all. It actually kind of has to do with me as the creator. When you have this level of versatility and flexibility, it kind of makes you lazy as a creator. And what I mean by that is you become complacent with the ability that you can just put this one lens on and do many things, but you might be losing the ability to create a better shot if you were to switch lenses, say for a prime lens, like a 50mm prime 35 or something like that. You lose the ability to get that better shot because, you know, you already have this lens on your camera and you're like, I can get a good enough shot with it. And I'm a little too lazy to switch because I'm running, gunning and moving fast. If you're in kind of like a more slowed down scenario, I recommend, you know, taking this lens off for certain shots, putting some other ones on in order to get that shot that you were picturing in your head, in order to nail that composition. You know, even yesterday on this trip, I found myself, you know, wanting like a slightly wider or slightly tighter shot, but I didn't switch my lens because I'm on a trail or something like that and I didn't want to switch. So I just kind of like lived with the shot that I got. But in retrospect, I kind of wish I changed my lens for that shot, you know, in order to actually capture that moment the way it was supposed to be captured. So yeah, if you do purchase this lens, just keep in mind it might make you lazy. So you might have to actually proactively change your lens in order to get some of those really nice shots. Now that we kind of wrapped up at the Salton Sea, we're heading out to the Palm Springs Tramway to catch some more good views. So we'll meet you there. All right, we made it out to the beautiful Joshua Tree National Park. This is what I've been looking forward to the entire trip while we've been out here. I didn't film anything yesterday. We actually kind of just took a relaxing day. We went to the Cabot Pueblo Museum out in Desert Hot Springs. Really cool little spot out there. And then we had a spa day after that at the Zur Spa Hot Springs, that was much needed. Now we're out here in the national park, soaking it all up. It is freezing cold and windy. Overall, what are my conclusions with the Sony 24-70? I've been using it the whole time while I've been out here in the park, most of the trip. What are my conclusions with this lens? Well, if you're someone who's looking for only one lens to put on your camera, this is the one. It is the best of the best as far as 24-70s go, in my opinion. So if you're looking for only one lens and you want a really small kit, get this and pair it with something like an A7 IV so you can have a hybrid photo video camera as well. Now, this is not for someone who is probably just starting out, since it is so expensive. You know, you want to be careful with what you're spending on equipment. Oh my gosh, my camera's gonna topple over right now. Speaking of expensive, I do not want this to get ruined and break, so I'm going to keep a close eye on this. But yeah, if you're someone who's just starting out and you're not really making money with photo video, you don't want to get this lens right away just because it will set you back $2,300, which is kind of crazy, but it is worth it if you're making money with your
craft. So is this the best lens on the planet? Yes and no. Yes, as in it is extremely versatile and you can use it for pretty much anything. No, in the sense that you're gonna miss out on using some really quality prime lenses if you get too lazy and complacent with just using this lens all the time. That's ultimately up to you and what you think. So evaluate it, make your own decision, see if this is something that you would actually wanna get.
So that about does it for this review of the Sony G Master 24-70 Mark II f2.8. I think I said that out of order, but it's a tongue twister. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Or if you want to see other content on this channel, just let me know in the comment section below, whether you're a new viewer to the channel or you're a returning subscriber. I'm really curious to hear your opinions, and I want to make more content that resonates with you. So want to help you in any way possible. Let me know what ideas you want to hear. You want to hear stuff about kind of like a day in the life, or you want to see some behind the scenes of my video photo production company, C-Mount Media. Happy to create all of that content. My goal is I want to create more personal content that I want to create and that other people want to hear from me. So leave those opinions down below, and I'm really excited to see what those are. But all that said, I guess I'll just see you in the next video. Oh man, gotta get better at this. I will. More practice. All right, see ya.